श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। The dialogue between Janaka and Yajnavalkya is concluded by Yajnavalkya with a very a set of beautiful sentences. Eko drashta advaitaha. It's a very beautiful expression there. Ekaha drashta. Already he has said the self is Jyotis Swarupaha. It is in the form of consciousness, light of consciousness. And it is one drashta, ekaha drashta. Drashta here is Sakshi. There is no second Sakshi. Sakshad ikshate. Being in the form of consciousness, it is the seer of the seer. The witness of the seer. Seer, sight, seen, all the three. Therefore, there is no second drashta. You don't objectify another witness. There is only one witness. Witness consciousness doesn't objectify another witness consciousness. The beauty here is it knocks off this situation, I am the subject, I am the object. When you look at me, I become the object. When I look at you, I become the subject. Either I must be object or I must be subject. How come I am both subject and object? It's the point of view. I am the subject when I look at you. I am the object when you look at me. But still there is a partial perception, a partiality toward the subject, not the object at all. We think the subject is more real than the object. The confusion is this confusion. I am the subject, I am the object is the confusion. So if I am the object, I am object. I am subject also. That means confusion. If this conclusion is not understood as a point of view, that I am the subject from the point of view of what I objectify, I am the subject. From another standpoint, I am the object. It is, I am both subject and object means you cannot be both subject and object. That I am both subject and object is evident to you, the witness consciousness, and therefore there is no second witness at all. Whatever you objectify is an object, and the one who objectifies is the subject. And that subject also is an object of witness consciousness. In fact, the subject is a conscious being. That consciousness obtaining in the subject as a seer, as a hearer, as a thinker, is the one that sustains also the what is cited and what it is the content of sight, and it is the content of the cited object. This is what we call Advaitam. Advaitaha. Ekaha drashta. Advaitaha. It's a non-dual. So witness consciousness doesn't take on to itself any form of limitation, and everything that is there is the same drashta, eko drashta, advaitaha, and therefore a second thing being not there. So advaitaha, the implication is the limitlessness is the nature of this consciousness. It is not just consciousness. The consciousness is satyam, it is self-existent, and it is the one that lends its existence to everything else. Everything else being Nama Rupa. Nama Rupa means word and meaning. So word and meaning is the Jagat. Word and meaning is the Jagat. You can't dismiss it as illusion. You can't dismiss it as delusion, as another delusion. You can't dismiss it as delusion. You can't dismiss it as illusion. You can't take it real. That is also a problem. It doesn't exist by itself, and therefore it is in between as though, you remember as though? It is as though. As though means it's not false we are talking about. Don't make a conclusion that it is false. Don't make a conclusion it is real. Our thinking is always pendulum thinking. Either categorical thinking. So that is why we are in trouble. Anyone who thinks categorically is a problem. Either are fellows. These either are people are always either this or that. Tirupati or Rishikesh. You understand what it is? Eh? Tirupati, Rishikesh, you know what it is? You don't know. Rishikesh, nobody shaves. Tirupati, eh? Yeah. Tirupati is different. The opposite. This is pendulum thinking. Categorical thinking. And nothing is categorically available. Nothing. You can't define yourself categorically as an individual. Are you a liker? Are you a disliker? Are you knowledgeable? Are you ignorant? Are you clear or confused? It's always American style of answering questions. The Jagat, is it real? Yes. Real? No. That's the beauty of it. Therefore, it's not one thing we are talking about. In the surface of water, there is a wave. On the surface of water, there is wave. Wave is a word, and it has a meaning. You understand, I understand. When we have both accepted wave as a word, but really if you want to find out an object called wave, you cannot prove its existence other than water. In Shankara in one place, he says, you cannot even imagine. You cannot imagine a pot, here, wave, without at the same time thinking of water. This is true with everything else. When you think of space-time, there is space consciousness. There is time consciousness. The space is, that is, the meaning of the word is resolves not in space. It resolves in consciousness that is. and that is Aham Asmi. When you say Aham Asmi, Aham Bhami, I am, that amness is existence, Sat, and it is self-revealing. Self-existent because everything else draws its existence from this. It's not borrowing. Again, there is a limitation of expression. Like the wave draws its existence from water. The total ocean also, Ishvara. For the wave, Ishvara is ocean. The ocean also is but water. And therefore, everything in the Jagat, known and unknown, is non-separate from this witness consciousness. And therefore, Yesha eva Brahma Lokaha. Yajnavalkya tells, this is the Paramagatihi. People like to go to Brahma Loka. This is our own goals. Brahma Loka is the frontier Loka. In the universe, this is the frontier. And beyond that, there is no Loka. Brahma Loka is the last place. And that is the thing that you can reach by doing by doing all Ishta Purta, all kinds of good karma, lot of upasanas, lot of yagas, yajnas, lot of charities, Ishta Purta, Datta. These are all different types of good karmas, good activities. Through all this, prayers, etc., you accumulate punya, as a result of which you will go to Brahma Loka. Okay? Brahma Loka. But then, Brahma Loka, you have to go. Therefore, you will come back also. Abrahma bhavanan lokan punaravartinor juna. You go to Brahma Loka and you come back, unless you are taught by Brahmaji. And what will he teach? What will he teach? Ekaha drashta. Advaitaha. He will teach the same thing what we are teaching here. And he will teach the same thing. Udhar jaake, going there you have to be taught. The same thing you have to be taught. And this fellow went to Brahma Loka. Brahmaji taught him, Tatvamasi, you are that Advaita, non-dual, Jyoti Swarupa. There is nothing other than you. Everything else draws its existence from you. You are the Adhisthana. You are the truth of everything. Truth of space, truth of time, truth of the knower, knowledge known. The truth of the knower is consciousness, truth of known is consciousness, like in dream. The known, knower, knowledge, all the three of them are one consciousness. In the waking it is the same. It doesn't dismiss the difference between the knower and known. It doesn't dismiss. It points out the reality of both. The knower is sustained by what consciousness? The known is sustained by the same consciousness. It is an invariable presence. And if you go to Brahma Loka, this is the same thing. Same thing is going to be told by Brahmaji. And if this fellow protests, I came here spurning that teaching, local teaching, and then I thought you will teach something better. You are saying the same thing. I thought you will improve this. What cannot be improved is what we say Advaitam, is the non-dual. You cannot be improved upon. Therefore, this is the ultimate end. This is Brahma Loka. This is Brahmaiva Lokaha, Brahma Lokaha. This is the one to be accomplished. Here, you don't travel. You don't do any action for this. All the actions pay off in setting up a situation which is conducive for this knowledge. That is karma phala. All your prayers, all your noble actions, a life of attitude, yoga, all these are paid. They all get paid in the form of conducive situations. Conducive for this knowledge. Because already you are non-dually limitless. Therefore, this limitlessness is the nature of the self. Therefore, he says, goes on and on, Esha Paragatihi. This is the ultimate end. There is nothing more to accomplish. Ultimate end. Yajnavalkyaha. So he says, Yenam Anusashasa Yesha Asya Parama Gatihi Yesha Asya Parama Sampati. This is all the wealth. If wealth can give you security, ananda, this is the wealth. This is the last word in Sampat. This is all the wealth. This is the very nature of security. People are insecure. And therefore they hold on to crutches. You need crutches in order to be secure. So in the crutches, you cannot say, now I am secure. Nobody wants to have crutches. You have crutches because you are insecure, correct? Crutches only reveal that you are insecure. The crutches do not give you security. Crutches are not security. Crutches help you just stand, move. That's not security. You need crutches when you are insecure on your legs. And therefore, crutches betray insecurity. As long as they are there, you are insecure on your legs. Nobody wants to have crutches one day more. If you can do away with the crutches, you do away with it. That love for freedom without without being insecure. A sense of insecurity is centered on I. Freedom from that sense is possible only when the self is understood to be free from any form of limitation. Time-wise, place-wise, there is no place I am not. There is no object which I am not. There is no time I won't be. And therefore, that which is limitless in every form is the real sampat. That is the sampat you have got. That is innate. That is the very nature of the self. In the wake of knowledge of this fact, the one has total freedom from insecurity. Yesho asya paramo lokaha. If you have to reach a loka, people always want to go to heaven, some heaven. This is the heaven. You are the heaven. All that you get in heaven, you have. This is a very interesting thing. If you analyze all our goals, then reduce the goals to the basic benefit you get, the essential benefit of every goal. Whatever. I want a good job. Why? You want a good job, you have to go on removing all these rocks from one end to another end. Go on. You take it. You want a job? You can have a job. Do that. No. I don't want a job. I want money. You want money? Yeah. Then why do you want a job? So only when you do job you get money. Oh, so you want money. Why do you want money? In order to buy things. Feel comfortable. So you want buying power. Money is buying power. Why do you want buying power? So that I can buy things. So by buying things, what will you do? I can be very comfortable. Comfortably, what will you do? Comfortable means what? Comfortable. If I am comfortable, I will be what? Finally, you have to say, I will be happy, I'll be free from insecurity, fear of insecurity, fear of being small, fear of being insignificant, fear of being controlled by the world, fear of being orphaned, fear of being left out. Even the body has got the fear. Innate fear of starvation. Therefore it goes on storing. Any extra fat, so it goes on storing. So that's what the body is programmed to, that fear. Finally speaking, the fear of being small, the fear of being insignificant, this dvaitadhi bhayam bhavati. This is dvaitam. The fear of being small and insignificant. And that goes away. That goes away. that doesn't exist. That doesn't exist. It doesn't go away. It doesn't exist. All that exists is one non-dual, a self-evident being, free from any form of limitation. And therefore there is no question of fear going and dukkha going. Okay, this is what we call ananda. Yesha paragatihi, yesha eva paralokaha, paramo lokaha, yeshaha asya parama anandaha, asya purushasya parama anandaha. This alone is parama ananda. Parama is limitless, paramaha. This is the limitless ananda. It's not experiential ananda. Experiential ananda is always in degrees. That ananda is comparable. It is always in degrees. That is experienced ananda. But this is all different types of ananda. One is experienced ananda, the other is Swarupa ananda. And what is the Swarupa ananda means? This is the Parama Anandaha, limitless ananda. No. There is only ananda. Ananda, when you say limitlessness, Ananta is ananda. Anantaha eva anandaha. Limitlessness is the ananta. Ananta, to be understood. That is the thing to be understood. The nature of Atma is limitless. It doesn't come and go. It is, this is what it is. Then, this Ananda, limitlessness, which is the very nature of the self, is experienced in Vishayanande Brahmanandaha, Vidyanande Brahmanandaha, Yoganande Brahmanandaha. It is this Ananda you experience through any form of Ananda you pick up. You pick up in life always you pick up some gleanings of Ananda. And that Ananda also is Ayameva Ananda. This Ananda alone, that Ananda also. It's not that there is some other Ananda available. But when you pick up a moment of happiness, what is experienced is this Ananda, Atmananda. But is imputed to a situation. There was some music, you listen to music, you understand that music, you like that music, you have Ananda. So this Ananda, an aesthetic Ananda. So this Ananda is born of music. Therefore it is music Ananda. Now you can understand now. It is music Ananda. Music Ananda means which music you have to define. Okay? Music Ananda. Then afterwards what? You have got disco Ananda. You have got ice cream Ananda. You have got all kinds of Ananda. Dance floor Ananda. So all these varieties of Ananda. Varieties of Ananda. You buy things Ananda. You sell things Ananda. What is Ananda? The things have nothing to do with that. You bought what you wanted, Ananda, hi, a car. You wanted this car. This is an antique car. Understand? An antique car. Antique car. You don't need a horn. You people hear it coming. And that is the Ananda. It makes noise. Every spare part makes noise. Every spare part. They say, a car, an old car, ambassador car in India, so every spare part makes noise. You know it is there. You know it is there. It's like old body. So every joint makes its presence felt. And so every spare part makes noise, except the horn. In India, you need the horn. You buy Ananda. You sell Ananda. Therefore, neither in buying nor in selling there is Ananda. Neither in the car, one fellow got rid of it and the other fellow got hold of it. Poor car doesn't know. It has nothing to do with Ananda. He doesn't know why this fellow is happy, he doesn't know. And therefore, in the car there is no Ananda. But there is Ananda. Before the car was bought, he was pining for it. He wanted this antique car. And he got it and he is so happy. Because he draws attention from everybody when he is going in this car. So, he has got Ananda. And therefore, that Ananda, temporary, transcends an old car, antique car. So, suddenly he finds the one wheel has gone away. One wheel has gone away. So the wheel was taking him, now he has to chase the wheel. The one wheel is out. So this is the antique car. Ananda. Transient. But then it is born of car. Is it? Yes. Yes. Because before getting the car, that Ananda was not there. If it is so, why should that fellow sell it? The other fellow sold it and he was happy. In fact, he is laughing at you. You gave so much money. Now he has got Ananda. His wife didn't get Ananda. What? You bought this? How much did you pay? He won't tell. He won't tell. There will be tsunami at home. He doesn't want to tell. You understand now? It has nothing to do with the car, poor car. You wanted something. You are the seeker. The sought was the car. The seeker sought came together and they fuse. The desire for the car is fulfilled. Therefore, the seeker is no more a seeker when the sought is gained. The seeker sought that both of them were separated by time and place. That separation is gone. In love also, it is the same thing. Separation. The person may be elsewhere, but there is no inside separation. When inside there is no separation, physical distance has no meaning. And therefore, this separation between the seeker and the sought is bridged, is abolished in the wake of either you grow out of the sought, no more you seek, and or you have fulfilled your desire for the sought by gaining the sought. Then the seeker sought, the separation is fused, is bridged, and in that flame of fusion there is Ananda. What is that Ananda? Original Ananda. Original Ananda. Asya Anandasya matram upajivanti. Anandasya lesham eva upajivanti janaha. The people enjoy, experience only a fraction of this Ananda. A fraction. Matram upajivanti. The limitlessness is experienced. The seeker sought is limitlessness. Limitlessness means you don't need to look at this side and that side. The seeker sought, subject object. And that gets fused. The separation disappears. There is Ananda. Matram upajivanti. Asya Anandasya. Happiness is not an object. Happiness is not an attribute to an object. And it is neither an object nor it is an attribute to an object. Then happiness is neither time nor place. It's not that particular place you become happy. You come out, you become unhappy. Particular time you become happy. Another time you become unhappy. No. Any time you may be happy. Any place you can be happy. And you don't need to even fulfill your desire to be happy. All that you require, even a joke is good enough. A slapstick joke is good enough to make you happy. Even though you have a lot of problems, but for a slapstick joke, you have got to laugh. And therefore, there is this clearance, subject-object clearance, wanting-wanted clearance, seeker-sought division clearance. When it takes place, there is Ananda. What Ananda? Original Ananda. What is that Ananda? The limitlessness, the wholeness, the fullness. You are the whole. We are distributing a book, You Are the Whole. You are the whole. It is this wholeness you experience whenever you are happy. That is why you love to be that. You love to have that repeat experience. On that day it was wonderful. Today it was not. Because everything has to be proper. Everything has to be proper. This is Ananda. This is called dependent Ananda. That means you depend for you to be yourself upon something else. It's like a sugar crystal. In order to be sweet, it depends upon something else. So you are Ananda. And so if this ignorance is not there, then everything else becomes a plus for you. Everything is a luxury. The physical body is a luxury. Your senses with all their limitations, a luxury. That you can emote that you can you can rationally think and explore and find out. These are all luxuries. Icha Shakti, that you can desire and work to fulfill the desire, is also a privilege. All these become vibhutis of Bhagavan. Given, these are all given vibhutis. For that you have to know that Aham Ananda Swarupaha. And this Yajnavalkya so summed up the whole thing. Matram upajivanti asya anandasya anyani bhutani. So this anyani bhutani means, so all other beings who have no knowledge of this, they only get some fractions of ananda. One gets a fraction of oneself. That fraction. That means one cannot miss oneself at any time, because one being there always. You cannot hide it. Even the most sad person cannot hide. So this happiness from himself and the sadness can disappear for a moment, and that can be a clearance, and there is ananda. You don't need it. You cannot, it's like a London weather. So generally it's smoggy, but if you keep on looking at the sky, you will see the sun, okay? Even a London sun is there, okay? So sun will come. Now and then you will see the sun. You cannot miss the sun. However dark the cloud is, the cloud is not stationary. It keeps moving. The sun will be sighted. No matter what type of thinking one has, but one cannot hide oneself from oneself. The truth is subject-object are one and the same. That is why you don't need to dismiss the object in order to be happy. You don't need to dismiss the world in order to be happy. You don't need to have the world in order to be happy. In order to be happy, you have to know that you are the very source of ananda. Anyani bhutani matram asya anandasya matram lesham upajivanti. They experience only fractions of this ananda. Iti Yajnavalkya concludes, and the text and all that another time we will be able to take, or somebody will take, so there is no problem. So this is the essence of the whole section. Yajnavalkya Janaka dialogue. It's a beautiful dialogue. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.